Ladies, I want to talk about the MIT study that came out this week. Did you see anything about this?
I read the Time article about the study.
Okay.
Better than
Okay.
seeing a TikTok on it, I guess. But no, I have not heard anything about it.
So they came out with a study that says ChatGPT may be eroding critical thinking skills, according to their new study. What does that sound like to you, Ilona?
Goddamn. Eroding critical thinking skills that people just aren't able to think for themselves. And, when they're faced with a problem, they can't figure out their own answer to it,
So the study divided the 54 subjects into 3 groups and asked them to write several SAT essays. One group was able to use OpenAI's ChatGPT. One group used just a Google search engine, and the other used nothing at all. And, the researchers studied their brain waves, the brain activity. And what they found was that the ChatGPT users got lazier with each essay.
I can't say I'm surprised.
No, not at all.
I'm so glad I didn't have ChatGPT during school because I know myself. I was sometimes a little lazy of a student.
What?
And I think I would.
I'm just kidding.
I got the department award.
Okay.
But I think I would have used it too much. Not that I wouldn't have plagiarized. That is a harsh line. But that's another thing we got to talk about is baby plagiarizing.
I think it's a slippery slope. I see how it becomes a crutch. As you said, you use it once and you had this instant gratification. And so you don't want to mess up. You don't want to seem like you're going to be wrong about something. So you just use it again and again, and it becomes more and more and more, and you're not using your own brain. And that's I think a big worry. Maybe it's a bit personal, but our darling Opa passed away from Alzheimer's, and that is of the brain. And there's all kinds of studies on as you get older and how active you keep your brain or not. And obviously that's a disease that has nothing to do with it. But as you get older, there's that saying that's use it or lose it. You got to use a muscle or you're going to lose it. And your brain is the same way. You need to be using it. You need to be thinking. You got to be doing the hard things, thinking the hard thoughts. Do the Google search, write things yourself. It's tough and it sucks, but it makes you a better person. I did a lot of writing in college, and writing sucks, but you get good at it the more you do it, just like anything.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect.
So ChatGPT, is it writing books and stuff?
Yes.
Is it writing songs?
I got so I put up a TikTok. I was like, no one's writing werewolf books anymore.
What?
Good werewolf books. And someone commented, I asked ChatGPT to write books for me. And then they'll just read what ChatGPT puts out there.
And is it good?
They say it's good, but I'm like, you're not supporting authors. And also at that point, because how these systems work in which they are taking sources from everywhere, it's most likely stealing other authors' work to then create this story.
Yeah.
I can see the draw to that because you are often God, no, there's no integrity in werewolf book writing anymore. And you're so funny about it, but you mean that because you like certain tropes, you like it to be written to a certain level and whatever. So I imagine somebody could turn to any kind of AI, artificial intelligence, and say, write me a werewolf love story that includes this and these tropes. And they could create the perfect story for you. But you're not supporting humans, the people around us.
You know what's interesting? AI on TikTok. I have to say, some AI is pretty impressive.
Are you talking about the fan drawings or the AI drawings of
characters? Books? They'll take you into the world. Genuinely, there's you can watch almost scenes from Throne of Glass made out of AI. And then there's recently these very sexual country songs. Have you heard those?
The comedy country.
The comedy country songs, but they sound like country because they take every country song that's ever been written, and they have that to their disposal, and they make songs that just sound like it.
Exactly like it. It's crazy. I mean, I've even seen weird AI videos made of you. Yeah, I know. It's scary. Our aunt sent it to me actually, and they were like, what in the AI? And they take a video picture of you and they're able to I think it used to be called deep fake, right?
Yeah.
Where you could
it's still
move
a deep
someone's
fake.
face. It's a deep fake. And it was you saying I've decided to not be playing rugby. But it's clearly robotic, but it's scary. I'll send it to you. But
don't.
The more someone is in media, the better these deep fakes can become.
Right.
Like you'll see them like walking down the street where it won't be that obvious and that robotic, where you're actually looking at it and you're like, is that a real video? Like I've had to catch myself on so many different videos to be like, oh, I don't think this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's so scary accurate.
People have sent me viral, like in the street interviews, you know, how they're now made of AI.
Oh yeah.
And they're scary. And a friend sent it to me, but I don't want to be like, you idiot, that's AI, because it took me a second too. Like it's becoming undetectable. And that is horrific to me. I think we all just need to touch some grass. Like feel the earth beneath your feet. Be like Ilona. Don't even know if ChatGPT is an app. She's really painting with all the colors of the wind, apparently. That's our girl. She's so in touch with nature. But I think another point where, once again, I don't want to be too harsh, but I think we should touch some grass here, is that people have relationships with their AI chatbots. They have full-blown relationships. Like one guy just proposed to his and it said yes.
While being in an actual relationship in real life.
Right. Spooky.
I think I have seen that. I saw a TikTok on it, but like it seems so fake.
Mm-hmm.
But you're telling me there are people who are, what are they doing with these? So how are they there? Because they can ask these things questions and they will answer as if they're a woman or a man.
Not even just questions though. They have full-blown dialogue now. Like back and forth. They basically can train their AI chatbot to be the perfect person for them and respond to them in like a more doting way if that's what they like, or what, like they have these, they use it as companionship. They're not turning to the people around them. They're turning to this thing that they've trained to be exactly what they want. It's so dystopian and it's happening all around us.
I imagine the AIs can do everything. I'm scared.
Do you guys remember that like viral tweet from like 7 years ago that it was like in 2025 women are gonna have sex with robots, and everyone's like next year, you know, like yada yada.
Oh yeah,
it
here
feels
it comes.
like we've actually had it. Like people are having sex with robots, but it's
mentally.
ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah, they're having text, like phone sex essentially.
There's a whole Reddit thread of, it's called like my boyfriend is AI. It's women and people on there talking, like sending screenshots of how their AI cares for them and they check up on them, and they just have this full blown, you know, they ask him to make images of them in a house together and what that would look like. And
look, hey, you know what? As you're saying this, Ilona, I'm actually kind of seeing the thrill of it.
No,
stop, because
stop.
It sounds like you can create what you want. No. I'm not actually into it, but it's interesting. We talk a lot about how we have trouble finding men who we can have conversation with, who we think deeply with. So then I wouldn't do it, but I could see the thrill of women who, well, frick, I can't find this in real life. Here I can create something. And I mean, that's why we escape into books. In what way? You know, we escape into books to have these men who are what we deem as, you know, viable and somebody we would like. So,
but those books, the men in books, were written by a human though. That was of somebody's brain. Like that was somebody came. It was
written by a human, but yeah, you know, you read books now where I've been reading a couple books where I'm like, that was definitely written by a woman. Like some of those men, I'm like, okay, look,
he doesn't exist.
That's not. I'm sorry, man, that isn't right.
I see these like relationships as addictive for sure. So I wonder if it's almost like the new porn addiction. Like you keep it very quiet, but it's a crutch. It's something you lean on. You have this relationship with it. You can't function without it. Like, you know, people are in relationships and then have these like AI partners.
And I think that's cheating.
Yes.
I think that's cheating as well.
Emotionally cheating. Put that time into your partner. What are you doing? And it's just, you know, like I do feel sympathy for people who are like, you know, there's nothing out there, so they turn to a chat bot. But it's also like there's so many lonely people out there that I'm like, there should be enough people in the world to be able to make these connections.
Yeah, there's how many billions of people in the world?
8, I think,
8
now.
Like, chat to someone.
People should try shifting again. That feels like a better option than
what
this.
Is it? What is
shifting?
Adrianna, you need to explain shifting. That is so internet. That is so deep cut internet.
Shifting is when people, I still don't know if it's like real or not, but people shift into a different universe in their mind. So they will like lay out a map of how they're going to shift. And then they write out this whole reality of what it's going to be. They're going to like, I'm going to enter Hogwarts and I'm going to be a 6th year and I'm going to be in Ravenclaw and it's da-da-da-da-da. And then they're like, and then I'm engaged to a Weasley twin and they're convinced. And you see videos of them and they're like, I just woke up after spending 7 years in the Hogwarts universe. And so I'm like, I'd rather you do that than this.
That's using your own imagination, though. Good on you.
For real.
You guys, I actually think I can partially shift then. You guys know those stories I have in my head.
Ilona writes books in her head to sleep, and she literally has deep plot lines. Like, literally get a publisher on the phone if you want someone to, like, she has deep stories, like fantasy novels, oh, we get into it. It was deep.
I haven't heard an update in a while.
No, actually, I was wondering about those 2 characters in that one. Hold on.
My Fae one? My Fae one? That's a good one. Okay, I have a werewolf story. That one's pretty fire. Maybe one day I'll just sit in front of this and tell you all my stories. I have a Fae story. That one's really good.
That's really good.
That one's really good. That one has a lot of, like, one lover, then we go to another lover, and then she's a badass, and she's actually... her father is like the god of darkness. Anyway, and then I have a story about in my head. What else do I listen to? Shadow Hunter one.
You have an Avatar one, right?
I have an Avatar. Well, it's not really an Avatar one, but it's when it's kind of like a 100 Avatar. She goes to another planet. There's
and by 100, she means the CW's The 100, one of the greatest works of TV ever created.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I gotta say, Ilona I think we must have had dinner and then like drinks. So we were all sat and Ilona let us in on these plot lines and these characters and these stories. I was genuinely giggling, kicking my feet, being like, and then what happens? Like, it's good.
I should get a ghostwriter on the phone because I got some, but again, I'm almost ChatGPT because I'm taking ideas from all these books.
Right. But that's how the human brain works.
Okay, well, let's make a pact that we won't use ChatGPT here.
You're like, but Gemini is on the table.